What's up, everybody? SinisterBaller here with episode. Shoot, I don't know which one.
Go to sleep right now.
2 hours later.
What's up, everybody? SinisterBaller back here with another episode of Father of 55. This episode is going to be focusing on the third trimester. We went over the first two, but now we're on number three. We're on the home stretch. So, in this one, we're going to focus on keeping mommy stress free, doing what's needed around the house to keep mommy stress free, and depending on physical conditions, stuff like that, as far as what she can do, what she can't do, things like that, and what you need to do to help her out. Getting the house ready, of course, the baby shower, and the other things that you need to get prepared for when the baby comes. Work, leave, things like that. Getting those small things, taken and in order. So you make sure everything is in line and everything is taken care of. So in the first and second trimester, we went over the things, the ultrasounds and things like that we went through. Third trimester, I'm not really going to go into the ultrasounds. We had quite a bit more because it kind of transferred, it got more frequent when the day got closer. It was like, I believe, every week, every 2 weeks or something like that, to make sure everything was good. But everything was good. So it was just a lot of the stress management, blood pressure management, and things like that. So I'm not going to go over the ultrasounds in this one. So let's get started. So basically, you want to keep mommy stress free. Okay, you want to do whatever you can to keep mommy stress free. So whether that be doing things around the house, depending on physical condition or things like that. So, what I did was we were having issues with her blood pressure. So her blood pressure was kind of high, so we had to monitor that. What we started doing was taking magnesium every night and before we went to bed. So it's called Nature's Calm. It's magnesium. It's a powder. You put it in, hot water, and it dissolves. And it's a great way to get magnesium. Great way to calm, keep your blood pressure down, and so that's what we did. That's what we started doing every single night. And I did it with her, and it helped me out. It helped my health. It helped my heart health as well. So that's a good thing. Just doing what you can around the house, whether it be, I personally, I wash the dishes. I wash the dishes every night, every day. That is, to me, I love, when a woman cooks for me. Love it. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. That is my only requirement, and she loves to cook for me. So, um, the way I show my appreciation is that I'll do the dishes. I don't care. I'll do the dishes. I do the dishes every night. And we got into kind of a habit when she was pregnant, and now is when, it gives us more time. What I would do is I would come home from work. I'd be, coming home from the gym, and excuse me, come home from the gym. I would take a shower while she would cook and prepare dinner, and after dinner, I would do the dishes while she showered, got prepared for bed, stuff like that. So after she was done, we would have time to spend together, before we went to sleep. So it worked out. It's whatever you do to maximize the time and spend more time together.
This guy gets it.
And get those scheduled. Whatever works for you, that worked for us. So whether it's, do the dishes, wash clothes, fold clothes. See, I don't really mind. I mean, I'm a bachelor, and most men should be able to take care of themselves as far as, wash clothes, fold clothes, clean the house, things like that. So, this concept shouldn't be foreign to you. So that's what I did. Wash clothes, fold my clothes, stuff like that. Did stuff that I would normally do if she was not here. You know, the only thing she really stayed consistent with was the cleaning and the cooking. She is OCD about cleaning, and so she was about to pop and still cleaning. So that is her thing, and but everything else that was pretty much me, helping her out, keeping her stress free if she needed anything, keeping her feet up, and a lot of times, women, their feet swell, during pregnancy because they're gaining weight, and so rubbing feet, making sure her feet's good, her feet are good, and doing those kind of treatments. So anything and everything you can do to keep mommy happy, that's what you do. Now we also needed to get the house ready, for the baby. So that included getting the nursery, which is our second room in this apartment, ready to go, and as far as storage, things like that, make sure there was an ample amount of storage and things like that, because you're going to need it. With the stroller, car seats, diapers, clothes, things like that. You're going to need that storage to be, whether you have an apartment, a house, condo, whatever kind of space you live in. You're going to need that kind of storage, and a place where, okay, this is where I'm going to put the stroller. This is where I'm going to put this, kind of organizing that thing and getting that stuff kind of done. Usually, right about this time, you're having the registry, people are getting your stuff, things like that. So that stuff is kind of coming in and you're finding places to put it, and things like that. So, regarding getting the room ready, that was probably what we were looking forward to the most. We had a lot of ideas. My wife had ideas. I had just one idea. Anything she wanted to do, I was fine with. But I had one idea that I wanted to do, and I think it was pretty cool, and everybody tends to like it. So, what we did first was, of course, we went crib shopping, dresser, clothes dresser, things like that. So, and getting a changing table, and all that good stuff. And the tough thing about that is a lot of things are online right now, and a lot of furniture stores we found around the area do not carry, baby stuff like a nursery and stuff. They not baby stuff. They carry like toddler or, kids around 6, 7, toddler beds, things like that, room sets, stuff like that. So it was tough. We went around to a lot of stores and we didn't find what we liked. So we ended up going to Rooms to Go. And we found a crib that we liked. And it didn't come with did that one come with? No, we got the crib at one place and then we got the dresser at another place because it was the floor model. Okay. And what we wanted was something that was going to last for a while, nothing that was going to be cheap, or anything like that. We wanted something sturdy, something that was going to last until, even when he's we can just take the changing table off. Don't need that. And the dresser can be used for his set of dresser drawers as he grows. So, that's what we wanted and that's what we found. So, and it was a floor model, so we got a lot. I think we got like 250, off the price, and it had just a couple of nicks and stuff like that. So, it was great. It was a great find, and we ended up getting that. So we get the crib, and now it's time to put it together. Warranty here. And assembly instructions enclosed. Read all instructions before assembling crib.
A few moments later.
it was fun doing because this is something that your baby's gonna live in for a while. So it was fun to do it on my own. And plus, they're not gonna do it for you because of liability. They stress that they're like, look, we'll deliver it, but we're not gonna put it together because of liability or anything like that. Plus, I wouldn't have them put it together anyway because I wanted to do it because that was where my son was going to be. And so it was a great experience, as you can see. And yeah, so that was putting the crib together. Then we got the dresser drawer delivered, all that good stuff. And then it was time to, put things on the walls and things like that. So we got a couple of night lights. We got, a couple of bookshelves and stuff, some cute stuff, and some stickers, that went on the wall, that were really, really, really cool. And then, the finishing touch, and I think, personally, it provides the more family oriented. I just wanted that family love and things. So what I asked for was, I got a picture of me as a baby, my wife as a baby, and all of our immediate family, like brothers, sisters, um, nieces, nephews, people that were important, cousins, and stuff like that, and get baby pictures of them, and basically put it up on the wall, in the room, in his nursery, so he can kind of get that love and that energy, in his room at all times. And I love it. I love the idea. We ended up doing it. We have a nice thing. And what we want to do is add to that. When we move into our home, we're just going to add to it. We're going to put that up on the wall, and we're just going to add, pictures and stuff like that. It may not be in his nursery, but it's definitely going to be somewhere in the house where just, the love can spread through the house and things like that. So, that was that was really, really awesome. And so we already talked about the storage and what's needed, things like that. So we got that kind of taken care of. Like I said, while the stuff from the registry was coming in, that stuff came in. Found a place where we're going to put the, park the stroller, and put the car seat. And we got the car seat stroller combo, so the car seat's always in the stroller, so it's right there. And we got an extra car seat. Thanks, sis, appreciate you. And so we made sure we had enough space in his, the nursery closet and things like that for his stuff. It wasn't hard to do, because very organized. So we put the stuff we needed, this, and we removed a lot of stuff, got rid of a lot of stuff, and made some room and things like that. So it wasn't really, that difficult. But you got to make sure you have that kind of storage, for the things that you need. So hanging stuff for the clothes, you have different, people are going to get you different sizes, the 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, a year, stuff like that. So you have to have hanging. Not everything is going to go in the dresser at the same time, because the way we organized the dresser basically was we had the dresser and the changing table on top of the dresser. So not only did we have clothes in there, we had like the bibs, things for changing, thermometers, nail filing, things like that. So a lot of different stuff. So you need that hanging, stuff for the clothes that come in, as your baby grows. So need that kind of stuff as well. Okay, now, I mean, the baby shower. It's for us. For the ladies, it's a big deal. For some men, I guess it is, but for me, not so much. When my oldest boys were, we had baby showers and stuff like that. I was, me and the fellas were in the back. We were playing dominoes and stuff like that. So it's just not I mean, I would come out and play games with, but food, dominoes, that was pretty much it. So, but this, it was, it was hers. They, her brother, my now brother-in-law, he rented a space and had it decorated, beautifully decorated, and it was really nice. It was a nice had a DJ, you know, and it was nice. It was comparable to the stuff that you see online, but you know, I'm glad she had it. I'm glad we had it. And a lot of her, friends, family, co-workers, extended family came, and it was beautiful to see and meet a lot of the family I had not met, on her side and things like that. And I'm out here in Florida. Most of my family is from California, or is in California. So a couple of people came, and some people, my family came that's out here, which I really appreciate, and which was great. So had a great time. Didn't really like the baby food, part, and had the games and things like that. But all in all, it was a great experience, and meeting people, and getting to know more about my wife's family, and who's going to be around, and show that kind of love, to baby ballers. So it was great. It was a great experience. Now that you have um, the room taken care of, storage, things like that, mommy stress free, all that good stuff. Now, it's really about taking care and preparing, the little things, the other things, and for me, what those were making sure all the cars are taken care of. There's no problems with the cars, and for my car, it was the AC. Anybody that knows me, I drive with the windows down. I don't like being in AC all the time because my job is mostly inside, so I'm in AC all the time. So and in Florida, you have to have AC on, as far as mold and things like that, because it's humid out here. So whenever possible, I go outside when I'm driving, windows down. Excuse me. I love the heat, humidity. I love it all, and your body really isn't made to be in artificial environment. So the more you're out in nature, the more you're out in, natural heat, and all that stuff, and natural elements, the better it is for your body. So that's what I believe. That's what I think is think your body is built for, and so that's what I do. So
Alrighty then.
the AC was messed up. The AC was messed up, and so I was like, "Look, I got to get it fixed." So because baby ballers in the car. The only time I ever turned on the AC was when my wife was in the car or somebody else was in the car, and now it wasn't working. So um, thank God I got when I bought the car, I got a very good warranty program. What was wrong was it was some starts with an E. I forgot what it was, but uh, the part and the labor and all that stuff was going to cost $3,000. Okay. So it was covered. I didn't pay anything, got fixed. Everything was great. So that's good. And just make sure everything is good. Oil changes, everything. I always take care of that stuff, but I needed to take care of the AC. So got the car taken care of. Then, getting your job, okay, the place you work. Now, depending on what you do, either you have, leave you can take, or, if you're in management or at this or whatever, it there's always some dynamic when you have a kid, and you have a job. So now people, entrepreneurs, people that own their own businesses, that's kind of different, but they have a different dynamic, things that they have to worry about and things like that. So, but for me, I have I won't say a 9 to 5 because I haven't clocked in probably about 20 years. So, but I have a corporate job. So um, getting them prepared, tightening up any projects that I had to tighten up, um, and making sure I had backups, for processes, or accounts, or things that I'm in control of. So making sure those things are taken care of while I'm gone. So you have to make sure that stuff is taken care of, and you have everything at your job, buttoned up, and make sure everything runs smoothly, while you're gone, as smooth as possible. Nobody can, if somebody can replace you, they're going to replace you, but as smooth as possible. Most importantly is the leave schedule. Okay. Now, depending on if your wife works, or significant other works, or baby mama, this ain't the baby mama stuff. Okay, this is significant other wife stuff. Okay, so if your wife, significant other, somebody that you're living with, things like that, you're cohabitating with, if they have a job that they're working, and they have leave, as far as maternity leave, things like that. You have to work out a schedule. Now, some jobs, they don't provide paternal leave or family leave, paid family leave. I'm fortunate where my job does. It provided family leave. They didn't call it paternity leave; they called it family leave. Um, so she got her maternity leave. I had my family leave at my job. So what we had to do was kind of find out what we wanted to do, what the plan was, as far as her working, her continue to work, things like that. Get all that stuff taken care of. Get those conversations taken care of. Get your plan laid out, and then you can get a plan on how you want to work your leave. So we did that. I ended up taking leave for 3 weeks. I had a big project that I had to get back to, so had to get back to work. And plus, my wife's family is here, so they could help out. So our plan, was for her to, our son, baby baller, wasn't going to daycare. That was number one priority. No daycare. We said that from the outset. So we did what we wanted to. We did what we had to make that happen. So, and that is for her to work remotely from home. So that was the plan. So we planned our leaves accordingly. So we had that planned out. That is what you need to do. Okay, whether I know some people, what they do is they have one parent take all of their leave first. Usually it's the mother, and then after the mother has to go back to work, the father takes their leave. And then that's usually probably until the kid is like 6 months or something like that, and then they go to daycare, or they have family member watching them, or something like that, while they both work. So it depends on the dynamic of your relationship, the dynamic of your household, what you want, things that you want for your kid. And yeah, so that's very, very important in my belief. Okay, so now we have that. We have a plan set out, leave plan, all that good stuff. The time is coming, and what you want to do. Another important thing is preparing your bags. As far as the maternity bag and the baby bag, that's a big deal. And usually, I let her take care of that. Whatever she thinks she needs. And she thinks the baby is going to need. Usually, it's just huge, and you don't end up using half the stuff. But it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. So that's another thing, is getting the bags taken care of. And my thing is, as soon as the third trimester hits, you want to get that stuff together. Especially if you're having a regular vaginal birth. You don't know when she's going to go into labor. So you got to have those bags ready and ready to go and ready to hit the doors. So with us, it was scheduled. We already had a date, so we didn't have to have that. It wasn't really that pressing, to get that taken care of. But it is still a good thing to get that taken care of. Usually once the third trimester starts and things like that, because you never know what's going to happen. So, um, so yeah, get those bags prepared and make sure husbands, us men, it's not that big a deal, but the maternity bag and the baby bag, those are the most important things. All right, so that was pretty much the third trimester. I'm getting my mind right. After we got the room ready. Mama's stress free. As much as possible and things like that. And once the date really gets closer and closer and closer, at least me, I was getting my mind prepared. And I knew I was ready, but it's you really, I don't think you can fully prepare, because even me, I have two older boys, so but every experience is different, every single one, so it's just making sure that everything around here is tight. My wife was good. I'm good, buttoned up everything at work, and all that stuff. And so I can just concentrate on, if anything comes up and to be able to take care of that and and solve any issues that may arise. And so that was pretty much it. Just getting my mind, in that mode. That was really the last thing I had to do, and I'm pretty much in that mode, to begin with. So it wasn't that difficult, but it's however you want to get your mind in that mode. You have a mentor, talk to somebody, friends, family, things like that. That have your back, and just understand that you have to be, the best that you can be, for your wife, your significant other, so she can be the best, for, the child when that child is born. So, it all starts with us. And it's like I've told my wife, being parents, it's a big responsibility. It's a huge responsibility, and it's not something to take lightly, because what we do, affects our children. Okay, how we communicate and deal with each other affects our children. Everything we do does that. So, um, so that's get your mind right. Get your mind right. So that's pretty much it for the episode, third trimester. Now, the next episode we get into the big day, the birthday. So I'm going to be going in, from wake up to birth to after, and everything like that. So I'm not sure if we're going to go, from the birth and then go into probably the week, after that, and the coming home, and all that good stuff in that episode, or wait until another episode. I'll make that decision, but definitely going to be the birthday and all that good stuff, the exciting days. So. Thank you for watching. Remember, mindset is the only word you can control. WFAW. Peace.